For more on the election uncertainty and the impact for the markets, let's bring in Dan Clifton. He is Strategas Research Partners Head of Policy Research. And Dan, watching the action yesterday, there were some people trying to speculate and figure out how much of that was related to the idea that the tensions in Washington are boiling over, that they are going up because of the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and the push to try and fill that seat. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting, Becky. We're 40-something days away from the election, and here we are. You're starting to see a lot of the pressure that builds in when you get close to the election, in a very close presidential election and a very close Senate election. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg was almost a catalyst that exposed the transparency of how high the stakes are for this election. We have a pandemic, we have a recession, we have mass protests, and we have the election all happening at the same time. That's very rare. And now you're starting to see those fault lines. Can the government pass a government budget in the next 9 days or so? Are we going to get additional fiscal policy stimulus? It actually looks like it's even less likely today after Ruth Bader Ginsburg's unfortunate passing, because it's just going to be harder to find some level of agreement. But you also have international relations going on. Is Trump going to do something on China before the first debate? You saw new Iran sanctions go into place yesterday. So there are a lot of different cross currents here after a big run up in the stock market. And I would just add the last point to what Elon just said, is that a lot of our clients thought maybe it would be negative for the Republicans to move forward on this Supreme Court. And that means that the possibility of a Democratic sweep would increase. And if that's the case, then it's more likely you're going to get maybe additional fiscal spending, but you're also going to get tax increases there. If you got big gainers in the stock market over the last couple of years, you might want to take some off the table with a 23% capital gains rate today rather than a 43% capital gains rate in 2021. So there's a lot of different cross currents. I actually think this uncertainty is temporary until we walk through these issues. But clearly, the unfortunate passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg really kind of just exposed these fault lines.
Hey, Dan, I haven't thought for a while that we'd see any additional stimulus package or any aid package get passed before the election. But the idea of the government shutting down, I didn't take that very seriously. Do you really think that there's a chance that we see a government shutdown 9 days from now?
So first, I didn't think that we were going to get stimulus either. But so I was surprised by some investors' reaction yesterday, where I think they were holding out hope that they're just not going to go away without doing it. But on the government budget, there seemed to be an agreement amongst both parties on how that was going to proceed on Friday at 4 p.m. And on Monday, we got a different continuing budget resolution yesterday from the Speaker of the House. It stripped out some farm aid that the Republicans had been requesting. Now, I see the Democrats are moving forward, and they're going to pass their budget, and they're going to put it in Mitch McConnell's lap, and they're going to say, take it or leave it. And Mitch McConnell's going to have to make that decision. My guess is he will ultimately take it, and we will avoid a government shutdown. But that was an unexpected development that happened yesterday in the middle of everything else that was going on.
What do you think would happen with the markets if we did see a government shutdown right now?
We learned that they're temporary. If you go back to the shutdown that happened 2 years ago at the end of the year and into January, and the shutdown from the coronavirus is probably much greater impact, where you're shutting down the whole economy. But clearly, it's an extra headwind and another level of uncertainty as we head into the election. And you would rather not have that self-inflicted wound. So my sense is that we're not going to shut down. Yeah. We may see some headlines about it over the next couple of days as these two parties wrangle over it. And given the relationship between the two parties, over the Supreme Court hearing, it's just a little bit of an extra headwind for this week.